This is paint the steel drill. The setup of the drill is one big popper set not to fall, or you can use steel plate that's similar in size. The big popper is going to be 12-inch in the calibration zone, so anything similar to it will be good to go. And 13 yards away from it, have a 3 yards long wall, or you can use barriers over there like a no-shoot stack or barrel stack. Those are fine. Make sure the distance between the two is 3 yards from outer edge to the other. And the popper should be properly centered in between the walls. And the actual shooting area is 2 yards within the walls. So as you can see, the fault line over there is what I set up. If you don't have those, just make sure you're entering within that 2 yards zone to engage the shots. The starting position is 3 yards away from the wall, properly centered up. If you're using a mini popper, which is 8-inch wide, you can definitely make the distance of the wall 1/3 the scale, which is 8 yards away from the mini popper. You can set the wall, and then actual shooting will be happening 9 to 10 yards instead of 14 to 15 yards. The procedure of the drill: at the buzzer, hands relaxed size position. At the buzzer, draw as you enter the shooting area. You can shoot the steel target as soon as it comes out of the walls. The order you shoot on this drill is: first, you go right, left, and come back to the right again. This is to make sure you're entering on a diagonal forward direction and lateral both left and right. Of course, you can reverse this to start on the left side and then go to the other side and come back to it. The focus of this drill is that you are able to paint the steel with your sighting system. Let me clarify what I mean by painting the steel. As you are entering the position and the target is behind the wall, about a full step before, your gun should be properly up on your eye line with the proper index, so you actually have a visual of your fiber optic color or actual red dot visually tracking the popper. Of course, if you are using a vision barrier, not a see-through wall, it's going to be more challenging. So you have to make sure in the walkthrough to figure out where is the popper positioned behind the wall. So imagine if you can actually see through the walls, the dot should be painting the whole time until it exposes. And as soon as it exposes outside of the wall, you are going to fire immediately, rather than trying to see the plate and then see the dot on it and then reacting to that. There's a lot going on if you're doing that. So the focus is that you're properly tracking it and you know exactly when the target is coming out of the wall, so you can shoot more predictively and without any adjustment. There's a common mistakes when people are entering the position. Either the gun is not properly pointed and tracking the target. Oftentimes that may require readjustment, so you have to bring the gun back to the target, or the gun may be too low, so you are not actually physically tracking the target or painting the target with the dot. Oftentimes the index may be wrong and the red dot is actually not inside the optic window. In that case, you're not really tracking or painting with the dot itself. Iron sight may be a little bit more forgiving. However, you still want to have the gun properly on your eye line with the proper index, pointed properly on the target, so you'll keep painting until the target comes out and you're shooting immediately. In this drill, you have to make sure that you do the walkthrough and see if your air gun is tracking properly, where exactly is the target coming out of the vision barrier, and also if you are overshooting the position. If you go too far away, yeah, you're wasting so much motion there, and the target, the indication there is the target is way far out from the wall instead of close to the wall. Of course, you don't want to go too short and having the popper partialed up by the wall either. Another key point here is that you have enough distance from the wall so you are not hitting the wall with the gun or bringing the gun in and out and not being able to track or paint the steel during the entry. A good goal time for this drill is low 5s. In order to do that, you have to make sure your draw is not slowing down. So as you're entering, you have actually tracking the target as you're entering and then firing immediately. And Of course, you have to be really predictive when the target is going to come out and shoot as soon as possible at the exposure of the target rather than trying to react too much onto the sight and vision going back and forth to it. And the last one is being efficient in the movement. You don't want to have too much shake going on to your gun and the dot painting outside of the steel. You want to have smooth entry so that you're painting within the calibration zone rather than shaking all outside of the calibration zone. If you're seeing the dot rising up and your entire body standing back up, you're artificially, unnecessarily creating a tracking component as you stand back up. So try to move in a level without any standing back up or going down further. You want the movement as level as possible. This is the demo. Time was 5:22. Now, in order to push the part time down, the goal time down a little bit more, maybe hopefully under 5 seconds, now I'm going to try to break a little bit earlier. I can't move faster than that. I can't really do anything better than this, so to say. But what I'm going to try to make the part time go down is to shoot early. All right, the time was 4:96. All right, time was 4:99. This time, I just make sure my track is correct, break the shot at the moment of exposure. If you have any questions, let me know.